Where I see a lot of people falling short in their business is they don't have a clear plan.
What I never expected me to fall down in this way of business was a lot of my clients use me because it's a professional service and they're creating professional videos.
Learning is all good, watching, reading, all that, but the key part, you have to implement.
Practice, yeah.
No point reading a book and going, that was interesting, and putting it in the bookshelf. You must commit to going, I'm going to implement.
There's no excuse for not being able to post content.
You're 20, I can't believe it, but you started a business at 15.
Correct.
Tell us about that. Tell us how you got here.
Time to get fired up. Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
Your thoughts can become plans. Plans can become actions. And actions become a reality. We share powerful stories and simple steps to fast track your business and personal growth. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get fired up. Welcome back to the episode. Today we have Lockie with us, the owner of Outcast Media. And yet again, I find myself sitting beside a very young entrepreneur, 20 years old, my gosh. And the fact that this guy's running a successful business already is outstanding. Now, I've known Lockie for a couple of months now, I think. And one reason I invited him here today and the reason that I love what he's doing so much comes down to the fact that he literally gets shit done. We've had a few conversations. He's very open about asking, what can I do better? What do you think about this? Which are really valuable questions as an entrepreneur or anyone running a business, is don't think you know everything. Be rest assured you do not. So asking people for input and advice and help is critical, but then implementing, like that's
Absolutely.
what has amazed me about you so much. I think that first conversation with the website, niche it down, 2 hours later, website was niched down. I'm still waiting 6 months for people to do things that I've asked them to do in other areas. So mate, thanks for joining us on the podcast today and welcome to it. So Outcast Media, there's a lot of media businesses. There's a lot of activity in the space. Everyone's trying to win the marketing game, the social game. Everyone's trying to get eyeballs and attention. What makes you guys different?
Consistency, quality, genuine passion for what we do. I want to help. I'm genuinely interested in building relationships with clients and I want to help people. And when it came to growing this business, I feel like one of the reasons we've had such good growth is because we genuinely want good things for our clients. And when we're almost emotionally invested in them and want to help them out so much, that has naturally come because word spreads, these guys are so good. And essentially that's why I think we've grown well, but I think that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, proof is always in the success and the growth, right? How long have you been in the space now?
4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5 years. And being in that space for 4 or 5 years, knowing what you know and seeing what you've seen, and I'm going to focus on small businesses. And when I say small, I'm talking 10 mil or less. What are they doing wrong as it relates to their social media presence or their marketing strategy from your point of view?
Again, consistency and quality.
Right.
And that's why we do well, because we fix that issue. Paying for one single video and then walking away from that company and posting up one time, it's good depending on what you need it for, but I'm a firm believer of if you want to get something out of your social media, you have to do it consistently. It's like anything else. You got to work towards a goal consistently. If you do one thing and then walk away from it, we live in such a people got short attention spans. They see something once, they forget. So you got to be consistently in front of people's faces. And the only way you do that is by posting up consistently and making sure that quality is high. So I definitely think that is where most people lack the discipline to be able to do that, or sometimes they can lack the money to be able to go out and do it. But everyone's got a phone. You can buy a $100 microphone. You don't necessarily need a professional creative to come in and create you something. There's no excuse for not being able to post content.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'll tell you what my excuses are for my businesses. It comes down to time
Absolutely.
and skill. Now that's okay in some aspects, because I also believe that the more rough and raw and authentic it is, the more real it is, right? Because with all of the bells and whistles and production quality in the background can seem to mix in with everything else. And it's just my personal opinion. I'm keen for your insights on it. But people who are time poor with this sort of thing, or financially poor with the amount of money they can invest into this, what would you be saying to them? What are you saying to someone who's just starting their business, they're 6 months in and knows that they need a presence online?
Just try. There's this current influencer going around at the moment. He posts 25 times a day to TikTok.
Wow.
They're actually not, and they're not all great videos, but what he does is he sees what performs the best and then he posts it onto Instagram where his real followers are who actually care what he's saying. So he uses as a test to see what's going to perform best, what are people interested in, and then post it up. So just try. If you're time poor and you have a phone and you're able to now edit on Instagram and TikTok and all these platforms that have it built in, all you need is music and a video, even if it's just you in front of a camera going, hey, we're from Custom Detailing, we clean cars, we'd love to help you out, give us a call today. That's something. It doesn't have to be complicated. So if you are time poor and you don't have much money to be able to invest in a professional company to come in and do that, just get out there, give it a shot.
So I'd say most of us in the small business space, we're looking for customers
Absolutely.
more so than likes, thumbs up, comments, subscribers. We actually need to turn it into business. So how important is the lead funnel off the back of the social media strategy to ensure that you are getting leads and can actually convert some of that stuff into revenue?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So your call to actions are important. You need to give people a reason, one, to watch the video, but then where are we going from here? What do we want to do? Where can we go to? A lot of our clients that we service actually don't have built-in funnels. And I found that quite interesting because we would say, we want a built-in funnel. We need somewhere. We need a link somewhere, even if it's in the bottom of the video or in your bio to go, let's book a meeting. And what I learned and what I never expected me to fall down in this way of business was a lot of my clients use me because it's a professional service and they're creating professional videos. And it took me a long time to get my head around this, but the difference between them and their competitors is sometimes their competitors are filming with the phone. They're the ones filming, and then my clients are getting professional work done. So when a potential customer goes to their account and goes, oh, this guy's professional, he's got professional videography and photography on his page, he looks really sharp, this guy knows what he's doing, then they go to the competitor, and the competitor's got just some iPhone video, they naturally feed towards the guy who has who looks professional, who's acting professional, and who's invested the time and money to have a professional service done for him. So it's a difficult question to answer just because a lot of my clients, I don't directly have that call to action and have those funnels built there. It's purely just the content creation, and they see really good benefits within their business by doing that.
Sure. Wow. Mate, you're 20. I can't believe it. But you started a business at 15.
Correct.
Tell us about that. Tell us how you got here.
I co-founded a business at 15, another media business, which was same kind of thing. It was videography, photography. And the guy I went into business with was an absolute gun. He taught me so much. To this day, I give him credit, was the best speaker, best communicator. He could talk himself in or out of any room. He taught me sales, essentially. And I learned so much from him. I learned how to grow a business. And I remember sitting in class at 15, 16 going, wow, that's a $35,000 invoice that I've just seen come through the email. I feel like I've broken a system here. Why am I in high school? And I worked through high school. I ended up parting ways due to a number of different reasons with that partnership in the business. And at 17, I said, you know what? I've learned the first time, I can do it again. And so I did it. I got into uni and said, screw it. I'll do 1 year. And if I get to the end of the 1 year and I feel like I need university to apply to this business, then I'll go to university 3 years later.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. And I just hired someone who's got a marketing and communications degree from QUT, which is the exact degree I would do,
Right.
would have done.
Right.
So now I possess that degree. But the business is growing great, and I went out on my own and decided to do it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love it. So good.
It's interesting.
Yeah, particularly because you actually that 1 year at university was a marketing and communications degree that you were doing.
No, I didn't even go.
Oh, you didn't even
I
go?
said that if after 1 year of business, if I got to the end of the year and said I need to go to uni, I would go to uni. But I got to the end of the year and went, I don't need it.
There you go.
And I kept going, and I'm never shut down to learning because there's always so much we can learn. And I've been in business for this amount of time, so I'm consistently learning and learning and learning.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm shut off to learning. It just means I'm not dedicating the time to go to a get that tertiary education.
I think that's an important part, is particularly when you're young. Like, it's not like an old person's got an excuse. Like me, it's not like I've been around forever, I know everything. It's not true. But the thirst for learning, like where did you get that, and how do you apply that into your lifestyle now?
That's a hard question to round off. I came up with this analogy and I've been using it for a little while now. I play cricket. When you're young, you're taught the technique. You're taught how to play cricket. You're taught how to play a ball. Once you've learnt that technique and you start playing in games, you're consistently having to adapt. And that's to different bowlers, to different players, to the weather, to the way the pitch is, to the way the grass is. You know the technique, but everything changes. And once I started learning about business when I was 15, 16, 17, I realised that there's a system here. There's a process to start a business. There's a process to grow a business. I need to learn that process. I need to study it. Because right now, my business is in media. I don't know where I could be in 15 years.
Yeah.
But the fundamental basics of that business, growing a business, I feel would be the same. So right now, I'm learning those fundamental basics, and I walked into it accidentally when I was 15. That being said, I've always kind of been an entrepreneur, whether it's selling this or selling that. Yeah, essentially, I'm learning that fundamental basic right now. I'm adapting it to my media business. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that a bad analogy?
No, it's good. And I think you touched on an important part, which is like, and I keep raising this with other guests in other episodes, is learning is all good. Watching, reading, all that. But the key part, you have to implement.
Practice, yeah.
No point reading a book and going, that was interesting, and putting it in the bookshelf. You must commit to going, I'm going to implement 3 things from this book before I start it, and actually do and plan to do, so that you can work through the outcome. Where I see a lot of people falling short in their business is they don't have a clear plan. So can you tell us what your plan is for 2025 for your business?
2025. I'll be very broad here because I have a lot of breakdowns for each goal.
Keep it high level and we'll dig in if we need
And
to.
I'll be fluid. I'll be really clear with what I say here. So the business currently earns around $15,000 to $20,000 per month, consistently. I would like to get that up to 35 to 45, and it is quite broad. 35 to 45k per month. There's $10,000 difference between the low and the high of that.
Yep.
But I've kept it in that range because it can either pop us above, ideally 350 above that, and that would be ideal. But I'm happy to settle for around 350 or below.
So grow revenue.
Grow revenue, number 1.
Yep. Number 2.
Grow team. I need 2 more people working for our team in a admin and a marketing space. I want to expand service offering, and I want to shift. Right now, 80% of our clients are videography, photography in that world, and I want to shift that from a 50-50 split between videography and photography and marketing. Reason for that is there's more money in marketing. We can actually target medium-sized businesses a whole lot more with marketing over content creation, and they're a lot easier to get in the door with. Just signed a $90,000 contract with a medium-sized business because we were able to offer that marketing as a service. He screwed his in-house person, said, no, thank you, we don't need you anymore, and outsourced it to us.
Perfect.
And I got eyes open, I got butterflies, and the whole lot, and going, you know what? Can do this. So my brother came into the business who's qualified in marketing, and he started acting that service. And the final one is to consistently provide a high quality of service, and I won't settle for anything less. And the day that that happens, which it won't happen, the day that that happens, I need to sit down and reassess what I'm doing, because if anything gets crap, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
If anything gets shit, then I realise, and the service is not 5-star and top tier, then we're doing something wrong and we need to reassess.
Cool.
So they're the
well,
5.
First of all, congratulations, because having a plan like that, clear, concise, you've nailed it. And I know that it's probably way more detailed than that underneath, but to be able to just pop off the first 4 things of what you plan to do for the business next year is awesome. That's where you need to be, and then you build the plan and everything else underneath that. Let's talk about the Lockie plan next year, because these 2 things go half and half. One's business, one's you. And if you don't work, the business doesn't work, and if the business doesn't work,
Correct.
you don't work. So what give me the top 3 plans for Lockie next year?
I will, and I have this written down as part of the goals also, but two holidays for longer than 4 days throughout the year.
Yep.
That's to go away and splash out, go crazy, do what I want, stay somewhere nice, and relax.
Are they locked in?
They are locked in. So we have one, I'm actually going to Europe. So I've
Rock and
got
roll.
2 weeks in October, and then I've got one small break in the middle of the year. So locked in. I think that's imperative, especially to spend time with the partner and friends. And the other one is my health. If I'm not healthy, then everything else will disintegrate around it. And that comes down to gymming, active exercise, my eating, and making sure that my hygiene is good. And I haven't been sick all this year. Touch wood, but I've not been sick all this year, and I don't plan on being sick again. So they're my Lockie goals for next year.
Outstanding. Like, honestly, there's not many people that I can ask that question to and get an answer like that. So
Yeah.
good on you. I
Thank
think we've just done an episode on this previously, but having a plan annually for you and the business, breaking it down to quarterly, breaking it down to monthly, and then putting that daily routine in it is what needs to happen. The daily routine is easy. The annual goal is hard. So focus on the daily.
Yep.
The meal prep, the gym block, the cut-off time, the business focus time, the new calls, all that shit, you've got it laid out
Compound it.
perfectly. What would you say is something that you could easily bring to them if they were looking and engaging with your business?
As a service provider,
As a result,
as
yep.
if I'm sales
Yep.
pitching you right now, what
I
can
say
I
to
bring
you,
to
Lockie, I've got 10 grand. I really want to up my social media presence. I need more leads. I need more sales. I know you're going to go away and do a detailed proposal, but what can you actually give me in terms of insight on why we should work with you and not someone over there?
Number one thing I've learned about sales is you're solving someone's issue. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you, Ben, is what's your pain point?
Yeah.
Where are you hurting? And firstly with that, I'm going to find out exactly what your issue is and if I can actually solve it. Because if you have an issue that I can't solve, then I'm not going to try and do that immediately. I might put you in touch with someone who can, but I'm going to find out what your pain point is. And then from the pain point, I'm going to be able to go, okay, what's your budget? All right, so you've got $10,000. All right, so, and your pain point, Ben, is you need active social media growth. You need consistent content going out. Let's say 3 posts per week. And I'll go back to you and go, all right, we've got $10,000, Ben. What we're going to do is we're going to meet up every month. We're going to meet up for 2 hours and I'm going to shoot you 12 pieces of content. Here are some examples of what that looks like. This is what we've done over the last 2 years. Do you like that quality? Do you see yourself fitting into that mold? Or do we want to craft your own style around that? Naturally, clients will create that own style and you'll end up crafting that over time. And then essentially go, are you happy with that? Are you happy with the price? Cool, hits a contract. Let's sign on it. Contract's not scary. You can opt out if you need to. Just need 1 month's notice. I want to make this work for you. First 3 months, we go absolutely ham. We give the attention, we give the love. And once they find out what our process and our systems are and we start solving that pain point, then it's a consistency thing after that. So they know what we do, they know we're good service, and then from there we just move forward.
This might be a weird question, but
Yeah.
try and answer it the best you can. Why? Because I find this interesting around people who run businesses or do extraordinary things. Like I've got a great friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time. He works for a company. He loves working for that company. He loves his job. That's fine. It's not about trying to encourage him to go and do his own thing. But he has achieved some amazing things in terms of sports and fitness. He set himself personal goals and he has smashed those goals. And I ask people like him, and I'm going to ask you, like, why are you the way you are? Because something's usually triggered it.
I can actually pinpoint this, and it's a really good question because it is the way I am.
Okay.
My dad and my mum are both university educated individuals, and I never disrespect that because it's the path that got shown to them when they were kids, and that's what they were taught. My dad has his master's in engineering and product development and a marketing degree. My mum is a speech pathologist, works in health, has worked for government health for a long time. My old man, and my mum, but my old man is such a outstanding individual. He is so smart. He is so good at what he does. He's your ideal employee. He makes shit happen. It's where I get it from. And he's amazing. He taught me all my sales knowledge. My old man designed a product and got it patented for a company that was worth over 40 mil. Push turns to shove, my old man got screwed over. He created that product, and they say you, as an engineer, you get one product in your entire lifetime that you create. It's your one thing. And that's the thing that hits gold with. They got taken away from my dad and I was probably 13 or 14 at the time. And I sat down and I just remember thinking to myself, so he did the right thing. He went to uni. He did the right things. Everyone told him, you do this to be safe. All of a sudden he's a 40-year-old man, no job, with a product that he didn't get access to, which he could have made a crap ton of money out of. And he's back to square one. And I just remember sitting there going, if I'm able to create a system and process and a business around myself and center that around here, then I'm never going to be 40 years old, cast on my own, back at square one, and having to get another job for someone else.
So is that
So
what
it comes
scares
from
you
there.
the most?
I don't have fear. No, but it's not a scare. It's more of, if I can avoid it, why won't I? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If I wouldn't, who would choose that nowadays? I would never have that. I would never choose that for me and my future wife and my kids. So I'm going to create security. I'm going to create a system. I'm going to create a process around avoiding that. So I'm in the process of that.
But you know, there's probably going to be quite a few people listening to this or watching this who work in jobs that they hate, who have seen their parents do the same thing, but aren't doing anything about it. What would you say to them?
Something I battled with is my parents not accepting the fact that I didn't go to university. And I've learnt to deal with that. I've had to go, you know what, I'm not going to do what you do. I will never disrespect you for what the life decisions you made, whether I become successful or not. And that's very important. I'd highly recommend that. If you are a young person, you're not going to go to uni and your parents are very religious on university, never, ever, ever disrespect them for doing that because it's all they know and it's what they were taught and it's the decisions they made, and I would never disrespect someone for that life.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it hard. Don't create promises that you're not going to keep and just go damn hard at it.
Yeah.
You got one shot.
Got one shot, one opportunity. Sounds like an Eminem song. I think, look, the thing is we always are going to listen to our parents to a certain degree, and they've done the job of raising us and everything else, right? But if they are living a life or have ended up where you don't want to be, then probably go and seek out other people who can help you, because we only know what we know. So it's very hard for someone with 3 business degrees who's got a job is probably not going to entertain the fact of you starting a business.
Absolutely.
Because they can't feed into that with their expertise. So I think it's a good lesson for anybody watching it. You've either figured out what you want to do or you need to figure that out, but then you have to talk to people who are doing or have done what you want to do. Because talking to the wrong people, which are the ones who haven't done what you want to do, are not going to give you the right advice, not going to give you the right support. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. If people want to find and follow you, what's the best way to do that?
Follow the business accounts, Outcast Media AU, Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions around this industry or you're passionate about anything, feel free to reach out to me. I've got time to connect with specific individuals who are interested in that, and I want to help you.
And I would say my challenge to you is, if someone is going to ask you about your plan for 2025, both business and personally, that you can answer it like Lockie. If you can't, you need to go back and have a look at that and do it, because I'll say it again, I sound like a broken record, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and you should be able to articulate it really quickly and based on what you want to do, so you can put the right time, energy and money into making it happen. Stick around for future episodes and we'll share more of this awesome insights with you. We'll catch you later. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe on YouTube or follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We drop a new episode every week. You'll be doing us a massive favor. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this, then share it with them. You'll be doing them a massive favor. And if you want the tips, tools, and resources to support you on this journey, then join our exclusive Facebook community and follow our socials. You'll be doing yourself a massive favor.